Hi there, you're listening to What's New Today, a family podcast channel about current events shaping our world. This is your host Sangeeta from India. In every episode, I usually take one current news story and I chat about it with curious children who could be from anywhere in the world. But this month, we've also chosen a topic, bullying, and we're doing a series of episodes chatting with children about their personal experiences and hearing their own perspectives and takes on how they've dealt with it. Thanks to the glorious era of the internet that we live in, children are not just bullied in person, they're often bullied over the internet, also called cyber-bullying. In part 2 of this podcast series on bullying, we get to hear a child's story of how he was bullied over the internet and an educator's experiences of dealing with cyberbullying.
Hi, I'm a 12-year-old boy from Southeast Asia and I'm in grade 7.
Do you have a lot of friends in school?
Not lots, but enough to keep me happy.
Oh, wonderful. That's a lot, by the way. Enough to keep you happy is a good number. How many of you and your friends have access to gadgets and devices?
I'm the only one who doesn't. Everyone else has like phones and they bring it to school. Some of them bring it to school every day and things like that.
And your school permits children to bring their own phone?
They can bring it, but then they have to keep it in the tray during school hours. The tray is downstairs, so that no one touches the phones.
Then why do they bring a phone into school?
In case like on the way to school, on the way back from school, they want to do something on their phone. That's why.
And all of these are smartphones?
Yeah. The one child who didn't have a smartphone left school. So after that, everyone had smartphones in our school.
And you're the only exception still?
Yes.
So how do you keep yourself occupied then on the way back if everybody else is on their phone and playing video games?
I either watch my friend who I come back with. I usually watch him playing and I just come in the bus, watch him playing. Sometimes we'll just chit chat and come back. We take public transport and not school bus. So we'll basically just the only two of us.
Is any of you surprised that this 7th grader is the only child in his class who does not have access to his own personal device? I'm not sure if I am. Well, before we get to hear his story and his experiences of how devices have been used or misused in his school, I'm also joined today on this episode by...
I'm Mildred Lobo and I'm the principal of Bunt Sangha's S.M.Shetty International School and Junior College. We are a Cambridge and an IB school located in Hawaii, Mumbai, India.
It's wonderful to have you with us today to share your experiences as an educator on how you have seen children misusing devices. So I asked this 12-year-old if he or any of his friends have posted fake information and how that affected someone.
Yes, happened to me once. So basically, one of my classmates put one completely false story out of the blue on his status. That I was sitting in the MRT and then some old man came and yelled at me because I was taking up too many seats. So yeah.
And when you say your friend put it up as his status, this was on which app?
WhatsApp.
Did many of your friends also see this?
Yeah.
And how did they react?
They came and then they told me he's put it on his status. And then I went to him, asked him, when did this happen? I've never heard of it. How can you put some story out of the blue like that? And then my mom also saw it. And then she asked me, did this happen? I told her no. Then she messaged his mom. Okay. And then his mom asked him. And then he was like, no, it was actually a dare from the person he was sitting next to. Make up a story about someone from the school on thing, or he just saw me and then was like pointed at me and was like, make a story about him and post it on your status and take a photo.
So if you never did take up so much space on the train, how did he get a photo of you doing something like that?
No, he just got a photo of me sitting on one seat and then spun a story around that.
But is this a child whom you've always gotten along well with before?
No,
No.
just a child who I've just is there. It doesn't affect me, nor does it ever benefit me. He's just there.
And he's in your grade, your class?
My grade, my class, yes. He's always been like very loud, outspoken, and just sometimes rude. So yeah, I just try to avoid even speaking to him.
Posting a photo of a child with a story about him taking extra space on a train. Sounds like a fairly gentle bullying story, right? Now, humor me and stretch your imagination a little bit. How much more effort will it take for someone to spin a story with this child's face taken inside a train about something more incriminating that the child might have done, which is a completely fake story? So, if children, if you're listening to this, or even parents, if you're listening to this, taking the photograph of your child or you without your permission and posting it anywhere on the internet is a crime. It's best not to let something like that happen, even if it sounds like an innocent prank for now. So, cyberbullying doesn't just stop with someone posting a photograph without your permission.
We had this incident last year where there was a lot of bullying of a particular child by a group of children. It was not like an individual to individual, but it was a group of children, and it was over Discord.
Over Discord, at what age?
I think it happens quite early. So they were, I think, in 7th grade last year. This child brought it to our notice. Luckily, she brought it to our notice because she was very upset. So she brought it to our notice and she had taken screenshots. And we have a whole team working in our school. So we formed this committee and we had meetings with this child and her parents, the other children. Each child was spoken to with the parent individually. So we didn't have like one whole group meeting. So each individual child was spoken to and spoken to about the repercussions of this entire action. So rather than just punishing these children, we thought of asking them to do community service, and these kids have grown up together.
Oh,
it just happened because I believe that they are exposed so much, and each one wants to show some kind of power, and they don't really know how to do it. And it comes out in these discords where each of them is under a different name.
So the children have signed on to Discord on their own accord. It wasn't a school-led initiative.
No, nothing. It was nothing to do with the school. It was all on their own accord, on their own time. We don't allow phones in school, so we don't have phones in school. So this was all after school. But we tried to handle it with firmness, at the same time with kindness as well. We gave them some time off from school as well. We could just sit home, reflect, understand, and come back. They all apologized. So all that happened. Their parents were pretty supportive. It was very disheartening for us because we believe that as a school, we hold our children really, really dear. And we sometimes we think that all is well. But all is not well because the world outside is not well. Our children are exposed to this.
So, in most of the instances of bullying that you have seen, is it usually aggressive behavior where they try to hurt someone, or, like we heard earlier, the story about someone spinning something untrue and posting it on some form of social media, again, maybe with the intention of hurting someone? Is this the most common form of bullying that you have seen?
Bullying can happen very subtly, very, very subtly. A word here and there, just a wrong tone also can be, I would say, a sign of bullying. I think when children have a strong self-esteem, the possibility or the probability of getting bullied maybe is slightly lower when you already have a strong, and you also need to have a strong backup system.
Speaking of having a very strong backup system, I asked this 12-year-old if he or if any of his friends have taken up such instances of bullying to the notice of their teacher or the principal of their school?
Usually, these kind of small bullying incidents happen so far away from teachers' eyes that it's very easy for the bully to just twist it around and say, I didn't do anything, and just get out of trouble.
Okay, so you don't see too much of a point in taking this up to a teacher because they'll anyway.
Yeah, and that too, if you take it up to a teacher, you could get bullied worse. That's one of the unsaid rules, yes.
But you'd be comfortable telling your parents about it?
Depends. I'm for the most part, yes. I'm not sure about my friends. Most of my friends, I think, would say like absolutely not, but I don't know.
Oh, you mean they would absolutely not share it with their parents?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that.
Okay.
They might, but they don't seem like the type who would.
Yeah, I know it's a difficult position that the child is in, you know. But at the same time, we keep telling our children, and it's not easy for a child. They call it snitching out here. We don't want to snitch. But I think it is important for schools, no matter how big or small the school is, to keep a close watch on children, because you know, when you look at the child, you know that something is not right, because nobody can put up a mask for, at least that's what I believe, for a very, very long period of time. And if you know the child well, you know that something is just not right. I believe that as teachers, it is important for us to keep a very close watch on our children. The academics will happen somehow.
That is true.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mildred, and the 12-year-old boy from Southeast Asia. And before I wrap up this episode, I'd like to read aloud a very interesting email that I just received a day ago from one Liam Chen, who says, I'm a teenager and I live in Taichung City in Taiwan. Sangeeta auntie, I've been a regular listener of your podcast, and this particular bullying episode that you just released, he's referring to, I guess, the first episode. He says, I am very happy that you did not feature opinions of parents and all other adults talking about it, and I was very happy to hear a 9-year-old talk about her own experiences. It's much easier for us to understand how we should deal with bullying when we hear our peers talk about how they dealt with it. Liam, thank you so much for sending that email. You don't know how much I enjoy reading all the messages and emails that I get from all the children from anywhere in the world. And listeners, if you found anything interesting or if you have any queries for either this 12-year-old boy from Southeast Asia or Ms. Mildred Lobo or even me, do send me an email at hello@wsnt.in. We're also available on Instagram. You can find our handle in the show notes below. New episodes on What's New Today are released every Monday and Friday. And thanks for listening.